No, he's asking for a microphone.
No.
You want a mic?
We usually have a microphone on the desk.
We were gonna do the ceiling light because our microphone broke.
What you say?
Our microphone broke.
All right.
Technical difficulties.
Irene lips. I need help. All set?
I open the meeting, I'm waiting for it to start.
Has everyone had a chance to read the
Yes.
minutes of the last meeting?
Yeah. We make a motion, we accept the minutes from the last meeting. Well, let's do the August meeting first. Oh, all right, yeah. Accept the minutes from 8/20.
Second it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve minutes from September 10th.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very good.
No, it's not a bill, this one here. New England Power.
I got this today. Well, I got this late this afternoon about the 61A stuff.
Is this Conservation Commission?
Just so you know, we're at capacity, it says 13.
Okay,
Yeah, I can ask people to wait out there and come back in if you want.
okay, that would be okay.
I'm actually here to represent.
National Grid?
I'm Allison, yeah.
Yes. Sign in over there, please.
Sure.
Yeah, we're waiting for you.
Oh, okay.
You're on.
Okay.
It said 13 on there.
First guy on the agenda is New England Power for a minor version.
Where do you typically have your applicant stand to present?
Is that her?
Where do you typically have your applicant stand to present?
The applicant right over here.
Right in the middle.
Russell, in the middle for Russell.
Understood, okay. Good evening, my name is Allison Milne. I'm here from BSC Group. I'm here to represent New England Power for the transmission line project. This is the green cards, Charlie. So we prepared a notice of intent application for the commission's review. The purpose of the project is to do maintenance and pole replacement activities along the existing 303, 315, 327 transmission line. It runs through the town of Dayton in a northerly to southerly manner, basically from the Rehoboth town line behind the high school to the south side of the
Excuse me a minute.
town.
The bottom folder is New England Power's folder. It would be good to pass it around.
So the first map in your package is a USGS map that shows the transmission line location that runs through the town.
Kevin?
Okay, sorry, again, I guess. All right.
Well, why don't you two and I'll share it with Bill.
Okay, so as shown on the mapping, all proposed activities are within the existing clear transmission line right-of-way. So no right-of-way widening or tree removals to make the transmission line wider is necessary for this work. The structure work will be happening at existing structures. They will be replacing the existing wood poles with steel poles, and that's due to the fact that they've noticed some deterioration. A lot of these transmission lines were built in the 50s and 60s, and they're experiencing some reliability concerns with the transmission lines. So they do these yearly studies, 10-year studies, forecasting out load, looking at the quality and the degradation of the existing facilities, and they're required to do the replacements and the maintenance work to make sure that we continue to have reliable electricity for the New England area. So these are transmission lines, so they're not the distribution of the higher voltage lines. So a lot of the work is requires to happen during certain times of the year when New England Power can secure what they call an outage. When they call it an outage, it's a planned outage. So it's not that anybody's power is going to be turned off during these times. It's just that they figure out in their system how they can turn off certain areas and keep all the bulk power supply continuing to the residences and the businesses in the town of Dayton. So that, there are some schedule requirements for this work. They do plan on starting it in March 2021, but some activities will have to start and stop because you can only do certain things when the power is not turned on, for safety reasons, obviously, because they're very high voltage transmission lines. In addition, some of the activities that they're proposing, they have some existing maintenance routes, the routes that come in from the public roads to get in onto the transmission line right of way. They will be doing some upgrades to these. Those are shown on your plans. They'll be refreshing the stone on the roads. They'll be doing some widening where they've become overgrown and they no longer have the appropriate travel width for their equipment to get onto the right of way. We're here before you today because there are some wetlands and areas regulated by the Wetlands Protection Act that the right-of-way crosses. So a lot of the work within the wetland and the regulated areas is unavoidable due to the fact that the structures are existing already in those locations. They can't reroute the transmission line right away, obviously. So you do have to work within and adjacent to wetland resource areas. When they do have work proposed at structures that are located in wetlands, they use those timber construction mats. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but they're basically the wooden mats, yeah, and they place them down and they kind of dissipate the pressure from the equipment. They reduce rutting, they reduce compaction of the soil, and after the work is complete, they can remove those and the area is allowed to revegetate back to pre-existing conditions. So those are shown on your maps as they're the hatched areas. So the green areas shown are your the biological wetlands. We have buffer zones showing the appropriate colors beyond those, but you'll see there the orange hatched boxes, basically. That's the matted workspace around the existing structures that they're proposing to place the mats down to do their work.
How many poles are there that you're gonna replace in Dayton?
In Dayton, how many poles? Okay. A lot. I know we have a number somewhere here. In total, it's a 40-mile-long refurbishment project that's going through many, many towns. So that's why I don't know all the
Okay.
numbers off the top of my head, but let me see what we got in here. 53.
Now,
53 within resource areas.
okay, now, all these poles, these steel poles that are going to be, that are going to be replacing, are they cemented to the ground, cemented in form to the, to hold them steady?
There are two types of poles that they're proposing. They're what they call tangent structures. They're the structures where the line's going straight. There can be light duty just because they don't have a lot of tension from any angles, or they don't have they don't need as much engineering strength. Those are directly embedded into the ground, so they'll be basically digging a hole, putting in a metal corrugated metal pipe into the hole, and that's kind of like the base.
Yeah.
Then they'll put the pole inside of that, and they backfill that with crushed stone. That's those structures. At some locations where we have what they call dead ends, they're high tension areas on the line and also angles. they have what they call engineered steel poles that are required, and those will be going on the larger concrete foundations.
Okay.
And those are differentiated on your plans here, so the blue dot is where we have the concrete foundations, that's replaced with caisson. The large majority of the work is the direct embeds, it's just at the locations where we have hard angles and high tension structures that require that concrete engineered foundations. We do have permanent impacts proposed due to wetlands due to the larger foundations that I was just referring to. So we have identified a wetland application area on the transmission line right of way. It's within National Grid and New England Power fee-owned property, so they'll be able to manage it in perpetuity. That's been identified. We're proposing a one-to-one replication for lost water and vegetative wetlands. I can get you that number. 134 square feet. All other impacts are temporary in nature, and everything will be restored back to the pre-existing conditions when the temporary construction mats are removed.
I look at the plans, I've worked in right of ways in the past, and it looks okay to me.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, the mat and all, no. They kind of do it all the time, so.
No, if, assuming past work is going to be future work, the same quality, it's going to be a good job.
Okay, good. Good. Is there anyone here with?
Just had a question, are those gonna be new poles installed, or is it just replacement of older poles?
They're replacing existing
So it's just
structures.
existing, nothing new is being installed?
That's right, and they're not widening the right of way, it's staying its existing cleared length.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
A couple of years ago, they replaced 2 poles out there. They left the wood in the ground, put steel 3/4 of the way up, and then the wood on top. Is that what they're planning on doing this time?
No, I know what you're talking about. That's when they needed to do reinforcements and raise them a little bit, and they did that kind of, it was almost what you could consider a Band-Aid at the time. But what they want to do is come in and replace all those structures with new, they're steel structures, and they're like the brownish weathered look. They're a lot more attractive than like the
Than the galvanized wood?
exactly, yeah.
The other question is, when they come in this time, I know in my case, when they come in because of the poles, there's a bunch of bull wires around them. Are they coming in with their handy dandy little weed whacker, that big machine?
Mhm. There will be some mowing activities in order to get access in for the overgrown roads and around the poles. Do you have concerns about that or a
Well,
question?
I have livestock there.
Okay, so we'll
Yeah, I
have a
have
stakeholder
concerns.
relations person that'll be, we'll definitely be communicating with you before any access onto your property and making sure that it's scheduled appropriately for your livestock and your use.
Okay, so somebody will notify me before they go.
Yeah, and actually I can, if you want, I could just give your name and number to him if you're comfortable with that. If you want to write it down, I can transfer that to the National Grid representative. Okay.
Can you speak to the access road off of, I live on Maynard Lane, which is a cul-de-sac, and there's been a lot of activity there over the last couple of months. Can you speak to what's going to be done there with that access point?
Find you?
That hasn't already been done?
It's an ongoing process, I understand, with these, they're always in here fixing something. And the scale of the plans, hopefully I'll be able to find you. Is there a major crossroad? I see Maple Street.
It's up in north. off of North Street.
North Street, okay. Oh, there you are. Cul-de-sac, Maynard Lane.
You have an easement over the property as well.
Okay,
Or an actual street.
so I assume maybe this is one of your,
Right there,
okay. So it looks like the main access route was coming straight down the right of way.
which is already there.
Yeah, let's see what they doing. They're gonna be refreshing it with stone.
Okay.
Looks like, here we have these structures behind your house that are to remain as existing.
Yep.
These will be replaced
Okay.
over here. They do have an alternative access route coming in off of the end of your cul-de-sac.
Mhm.
If that is a concern to you and your neighbors, again, I can get your name and number to speak to the stakeholders.
Yeah, there's already one there that they just built.
Okay,
So there's gonna be another one that I'd be concerned with that.
it would be that same one.
The same one? Okay.
Yeah, they might be using it to bring equipment in.
Yeah, they already are.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All set?
We're good.
Okay. Thank you.
I move that we close the hearing and issue an order of conditions.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? There we go. You're all set, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
I'm gonna call now.
Yeah, that's Morris Lane.
Yep.
Good. The first one in line would be lot 2, or the next bid. There's 2, 8, and 9.
2. 2, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 2 is the top, doesn't have the number.
Right here.
Two was across from me on the right side of the street.
If you want to put that on the chair so that, and face it so everyone can see it, or as many as possible.
There should be 3 sets of plans.
Um, Okay, that's a different lot there.
That's a different one.
I think so. That's lot 3, it says.
This is 3.
Oh,
That should be all 2. All this stuff should be.
well, I was just reading what it said at the bottom.
Well, that's lot 3.
Oh, okay, all right, okay,
2.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah, lot 2. Lot 2, sure. You're up.
Good evening. My name is David Santos of Prime Engineering, representing my client at Morris Lane Development, LLC. Here we have a construction of a single-family dwelling on Lot 2. We are filing a notice of intent because we are within the 100-foot buffer of the wetland that is actually across the street on Morris Lane. It's actually a reconstructed wetland that was initially proposed back in 2012. I actually have a plan here from this. Is what was approved by NHESP back in 2012, 2013 when this development was permitted. So this is a reconstructed wetland. So we are within the 100-foot buffer here. No septic components are within 50 feet of the wetland. And we also have pushed everything as close to the road as possible to prevent any issues with drainage in the rear of the lot.
Actually, the wetland issue is only one reason you filed. The original order of conditions we issued for the whole subdivision was that every lot that had a restricted area had to have a notice of intent filed.
Okay.
So that's part of this
Part of the
operation.
Correct. That one, if there's what we're looking at for the design, do you have any questions with the design or wetlands going on here?
Yeah, okay, so, this over here is going to be, on Center Street, right here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This is the lot we're looking at.
And the wetlands are on this side of the street.
Over here.
And, okay, yeah, so here and here. So, I mean, there's nothing to be a problem on this side. Yeah.
Is that 50 feet away? Yeah. We have 100 feet.
I was just
I
there.
looked at the plans all afternoon, I don't see a problem.
I was up on Norris Lane and I saw no problems with what's there. I've walked it in the past many times with the,
The only two areas you have there that are restricted are very tiny pieces in the back of the lot. So they have to be monumented, but other than that, the wetland issue is not a problem as far as the house is concerned.
I have no questions, no problems with it.
Yep. All three lots.
We had questions because we weren't, I actually called now.
This would be across the street from,
Yeah, we had called, find out what was going on, but nobody contacted us back from the construction company because it said on the letter of conditions.
Did you have the green cards?
Yes, I do. I have green cards for all 3 lots.
yeah.
Yeah, we have the certified letter, but it said call if you have any questions.
My certified
And I did,
certificate
yeah,
was ripped off.
Whoa, this mess is causing my ears to go nuts.
Yep, my certified letter sticker was ripped off, I did not even sign for my letter.
Okay, well, you heard what is being.
Oh, I've heard what's been said. That lot is surrounded by wetlands, that road goes through wetlands, and I'm on the downside of it. I'm blue, I'm flooded. That wetland pours into my front yard, into my side yard, and I can run a pump almost 24/7 unless it's bone dry in the basement of a house. Because if you look in my backyard, Kevin's been there himself, if you stand in my backyard, the road on Norris Lane is right here on me. If you drive down Norris Lane, you're looking down on me. I'm flooded. In a big way.
Where are you,
My house has
where are
been
you
there
on
since-
this map?
I am 800 Center Street, I am blue. Right here. This is all wetlands, this flows into my yard, my basement in the larger house is flooding. Kevin has seen that firsthand. I have big problems because of this subdivision. There are drainage culverts that I've been told by the original engineers that drain because the road comes up this way, High Point's right here, and points down this way and drains into the wetlands. The road crests right here in my back corner. It flows this way and it flows this way.
Okay,
It crests at the back corner of my yard.
So you live on Center Street?
I am on Center Street.
Okay.
I am the right side of that property, and the front side over here of lot 1 where they're already working, this is all wet, and Mrs. Lima couldn't do anything on her property, but they could come in and knock trees down. There's also a natural pond behind me where the silk fence runs right through the middle of it with conservation sign fences in it. I've been complaining since day 1. Now I'm underwater. Now I want to know what you're going to do for me. If you go to that subdivision and you look anywhere in my yard, you're going to be looking up at the subdivision and the houses. If you'd like to see, I took current pictures of today. So you can see what I'm looking at.
You don't know the elevation over there, right?
I was told by
No,
someone
no, no, no.
who worked prior at Inland Boyne Williams just last week that there were 5 to 6 feet of fill brought in for areas of that road. That lawn over there was the same height as me. It ran right like this, right to Mrs. Lima. When that brick goes over behind Mr. Mello's house and next door to Mr. Crawford's house, I'm the first low point right there. It ran right through my yard. That's the lowest set point on Center Street. And I'm sinking because of a subdivision that I have fought since day 1. There are box turtles in there.
The box
I
turtle,
have a mess because of this subdivision.
the box turtle issue has been settled. NHESP took over 50 acres of that property to protect the box turtles. This
We all have box
subdivision-
turtles in our yards from that
The
subdivision.
subdivision has been approved in 2014 or 13 or whatever the date was. We're working now on individual lots. But the roadway was built according to specs. There were no complaints then.
There were complaints, and I've been complaining since day 1.
According to this, it's 50 feet from the wetlands.
What is 50 feet?
The septic field.
Correct.
The leaching area is 50 feet. And that's Title V requirement right there, right?
I couldn't do a Title V on my own property if I wanted to right now, because it won't pass because I'm too wet because that subdivision being there.
That's true. It's we have 100 foot. Is that state too, 100 feet from the wetlands? What is your, okay, you've got a new septic design there, and we have a 100-foot buffer zone between septic systems and wetlands.
Correct. So via Title V, we are acknowledging the 50 foot.
No, you're
Is there a
conservation on Title
Okay.
V.
Okay. The reason for us putting the septic system in this location here is to prevent any drainage issues in the rear of the lot. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Lot 3 here. They had a big drainage issue where we had to go back in and add culverts and reroute water and drainage to the rear drainage lot.
Isn't there a drainage system that runs right through that lot?
What was that?
Isn't there a drainage easement?
Correct.
Yeah.
There is a drainage easement here.
And that picks up and goes where?
This picks up and goes to a culvert that is, actually, I have that for you. So that actually goes to a culvert that picks up here on Lot 3 and gets taken down to the drainage.
Down to the sedimentation area.
Yes. Correct, because when we came in to the subdivision, Lot 3 had a major drainage issue where they had pooling and ponding. So we were afraid of bringing too much fill into Lot 2 in this rear area. We were just trying to stay away and keep all the grading up tight to the road there.
If I may. In all the years we've been dealing with this subdivision, This is the first time that I've heard a complaint about flooding in that area.
No, you haven't. Mr. Blue was here from the
There's nothing on
beginning.
record.
I sent a letter to the selectmen requesting a cease and desist. I've done everything I have been asked to. I have called conservation, I have gone to planning, I have gone to the building department. I requested a cease and desist before the foundation on lot 1 went in. I have pictures of all of it. I actually asked Mr. Fedek during a CPC meeting what had to be done to buy that because the owner of the apartment building was offering to purchase that with the town to keep it as wildlife. So, I've been on this since day one. No matter how you cut this, when you go into that subdivision, you're putting me in a gully. I'm in a
I
gully.
don't know.
3/4 of the way up the back of my property and all the way down the side because that road is up here and I'm down here. You're flooding me out with the subdivision. There's 2 of you sitting right here that knew that front yard used to flood, correct? Mr. Blue fixed it, we re-leveled the whole front yard, I had no flooding. Guess what? This house has started going in with the subdivision, I have flooding on both sides of my driveway now. I'm in a hole. You let a subdivision go in with roads being built 5 to 6 feet above my property height. I'm getting flooded. There's nowhere for that water to go when all that land's sloping down this way towards me.
What direction is the flow? Is it to the east?
I've got slope coming right at me with pipes draining into the wetland right on the border of my property. That road was put through wetlands, that was all wet. That was wet 10 out of 12 months a year.
If we get back just to this individual lot, where we have a 100-foot buffer zone between septic and,
These lots are the natural contour of the land. The road was built pretty near to the natural contour of the land. All the pine trees, there was a big vast pine area in there, were all taken down up to the conservation restricted area.
They cleared out all.
what I'm saying, I'm just talking about the approval of this lot right here. If that septic system is only 50 feet, according by our bylaw, we cannot approve it.
The septic system is,
50 feet from the wetlands.
Which, if he's saying the wetlands is across the street, the wetlands is bordering my property, not even on the lot's property itself.
the limit is 100.
Okay, I just have a question. Near Center Street, is there a culvert draining to the south or to the east? Or is that?
I believe there is a culvert that runs underneath the road.
To the west, I'm on the west side.
You're in the west.
I'm, Maris goes in this
No,
area, I'm right here.
No, but okay, but the contour of the land is which direction?
Actually, it goes pretty much straight on this side, and it dips down towards me.
It's down, Jim, and there's a culvert south of that road. It goes underneath, goes through the old Glidden property down to the brook.
Okay, but if she's getting all this water, what I'm saying is there a blockage preventing the water from moving east and west?
That's a town culvert under the road.
No, I'm saying even under Morris, no, what's the name of the road?
Morris
Lane?
Morris Lane. Correct, yeah.
No, it isn't, no.
That's a wet area. There's several, from what I've been told, several veins of the brook.
Because of the 50-foot setback that he has, we cannot approve it just on that basis.
The Board of Health approved that,
The,
Septic system,
has the board called it? Yes.
they did.
I believe so, lot two.
No exemptions,
The original septic system that was designed for the house was behind the house. And after conversations with the gentleman that owns Lot 3, who had all the problems, the house was too low. We had said, well, we'll try and move it to the front so that we can keep the grade in the back level with his driveway. If you recall, Lot 3 goes in, the driveway goes down, and he had all kinds of flooding down there. So we said, well, we keep that whole thing at the same elevation and move the septic to the front. Otherwise, the septic goes in the back and it comes up 6 feet higher than, it's creating a bathtub for the guy on Lot 3. That's why we went through the expense of redesigning and moving it to the front. The Board of Health had approved it, but if it's not within your,
Yeah, because of the Board of Health, their regulations are 50 feet minimum, and then he took care of the breakout issue by putting a poly liner there. So he took care of that. As you can see, right on the property line where the leaching field is, there's a liner there. But the local regulation for conservation is 100.
it's 100 feet.
So there's the conflict there. It's, they're going straight Title V, and that's 50 feet for Board of
Yeah,
Health.
but we're 100.
Yeah, but you're protecting the resource area, that's why.
so you went back to where it was.
So we can move this to the rear again, where we have,
Previously approved one.
where we have the reserve area, further back at the rear of the lot.
Is that gonna make the 100-foot buffer zone?
Yeah, we'll make sure it.
Okay, the next, is this foundation already in?
No,
Okay, because I was driving through it, I saw a couple foundations in.
One foundation's in Lot 1.
Okay,
And you already did park walls, so you can just slide it over here.
okay.
We just retested and did new perk tests and everything else to move it to the front to accommodate the existing house on, where's the north arrow?
to the north.
To the north. So,
Well, let us continue lot 2 for redesign and see what happens.
Second.
Okay, let's call that a motion, and I'll move that we continue lot 2 for redesigning the septic system to meet conservation guidelines.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
When do you, okay, so these people can be here, when do you expect to have that done?
The septic
For a
revision
month?
for the plan?
We're meeting on October 14th, I believe, 14th or 15th.
We will be ready for the next available meeting.
Okay, let's see, that is, must be the 15th,
Yes. 15.
October 15th.
Thursday is 15.
Jim,
Yeah, 15.
Okay, you hear, we're not letting this, we're not accepting it yet. Doesn't mean we're not going to, but it doesn't mean we are, we have to, because right now, it does not pass conservation bylaw, which is a 100-foot buffer zone. And then, maybe you can address those wetland issues as well, with the neighbors. And you can have some verbal or written communication with the neighbors as to what can be done to solve the problem they're having. Okay, I know what the mask is saying.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, so we're asking not just for that, but for also some other communication.
I have, like I said, I have issues with lots 8 and 9 as well because of the pond that's there. That was a natural pond. I've lived in that house, been in that house
Well, how
for
long has this been going on, Charlie? This is almost 10 years.
30 years.
How many?
I've been in that house or near that house, within that house for 30 years. Mr.
Okay,
Blue
no, but I'm just saying,
was my-
this project
This
has been going
project
on for
has
10
been
years.
going on, and I've been complaining for 15 plus years now.
Okay, I know it's been a long time because,
15 years. Mr. Blue was here before me.
How many houses are there now?
There's 4.
These are the- well, they're not the
And everyone
last
that goes
three,
in, I get
there's
water.
actually 4 open lots. These are the last 3 that haven't been approved.
okay, this is what, lot 8 now? Lot 8?
Yep.
Lot 8. Wait a minute. I'm looking at 54 here, and, this is, okay, wait a minute, where's this here?
Yep. So lot 8 has a similar issue. We'll have to move
Yeah.
the leaching field over.
So, yeah, the line goes, they go right through it.
We're about 80 feet
So
away.
the leaching field is within the 100 and the 50. It's smack in the middle pretty much.
Again, same problem. Did you not read our bylaws?
No, I was unaware of the Conservation Commission bylaw that had to do with the 100-foot buffer zone. The design was done,
It looks like you're running into the same problem again here.
yes.
You're gonna have to do a redesign, and your leaching system will have to be 100 feet away from the wetlands.
Correct.
That was gonna be a little close,
And
huh?
that's not even possible, the size of those 2 lots.
Because that's a restricted
Well,
wetland
that's-
area.
Which, are you looking at lot 8? Just to confirm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Lot 8. So this one has plenty of room to move over. To be out of the.
All right, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yep.
It'd be on the other
So-
side.
Yeah, we have plenty of room.
This is the 50 here.
Yeah, so the
So-
100 here, so if he goes over here, this corner. Yeah, okay.
So you, what, just pull it closer to the driveway, is that what it is?
Yeah, it would just get pulled close to the driveway, we would move the water
Okay.
line over.
So, all right, so that there's a second redraw
Yep.
to get it within, okay. Are there any other concerns?
Just gonna make sure nobody's outside.
There should, I doubt there'd be anybody out there.
There was one guy that was walking around. I think he went home.
He was probably with the last,
Yeah, probably.
See if there's anybody got any questions before we continue. Yeah. I gave my comments.
Yeah, no, if you can, no, redesign it, move it over.
Whenever we have bought their property, I guess they're trying to put 2 lots there. We just got the letter, we didn't know what was going on. We don't know if there's zone issues, like 100 feet away from our property or something with the septic, I don't know. I've never seen the plans. We just know the septic's going in front of the houses.
Yes.
The septic will be in front of the
But
house.
we're not creating any lots, these lots were created.
No, I understand that, we're gonna let everybody else finish it up.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I
yes,
don't know.
no.
Is there a zoning issue with our property, with what's going on here?
You live on Morris Lane?
I live on Middle Street, I own the land all the way back, and I bust their
Are
property.
you the one who called me?
This is all the pages,
Yep.
they're all back, they're all back.
In the beginning, when we.
Yeah, I looked up your lot to
Ron,
see the connection.
Yeah.
You have a very,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and it goes all the way to the lot.
Corner
Yeah,
for
we
7 years,
The
so
lot, because
everybody
we went
had,
to
the old property.
to the town to find out if anybody could build behind us at the time, and we said, we were told that they were gonna move, because of the wetland issue, they were gonna change things and move it towards create like a buffer, so we were told we weren't gonna have anyone behind there, and now I guess things have changed. So, we might not have bought the property,
Okay.
so.
Okay, I move that we continue the hearing for redesign to accommodate the 100-foot septic buffer zone.
Charlie, second.
over here. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Is the buffer zone gonna stay the way it is right now? The buffer zone, is that gonna change or
Yeah, no.
that's gonna stay the same?
That's been determined a long time ago as far as the wetland flags.
It's conservation.
They can't
So
put
the
buffers.
wetland flagging
But it's
will remain in effect. And so they have to abide by distance from that zone.
Okay,
Okay, this is what, lot 9 now?
It's a mirror image of the one we just looked at.
I'm sorry?
It's a mirror image of the one we just looked at. It's south of the
Well, let's get some maps and we'll see the distance there.
You're across the street?
It was up on Ashland Middle Street, but our property in the back lot.
They're my left one. If you stand in front of me, they're my left one.
So on this lot, similarly to the other lots, with the septic in the front, this lot does honor the 100-foot setback.
Yeah. Are you clipping that little corner, or are you, yeah. It looks like you're clipping that corner just slightly.
Oh,
You're at the corner.
On the edge of 100 foot.
Not the nitpick, but you're in it, you know, according to that.
Yeah.
Just
Well, that might be a
part.
move 5 feet. That's-
Yeah, it could be a simple, and it's not the over, you're not worried about the overdo, you're just worried about that little, the edge of the field itself.
And actually find the D-box.
Yeah, here it is. right
Yeah, there you go, the D-box is on
D-box
it.
has gotta go that way with it.
So, okay, so they'll have to move 5 feet or so to the,
No, they got a little more than 5 feet, because they got to bring around it.
well, the grading can still be approved. It's the septic itself that, okay, so you are a bit in the,
So we'll make a revision and
it's going to be but probably less of a move than certainly lot 2. And, okay. Do you see what we're doing here? Okay, so, we're just looking to move the septic system out of the buffer zone. Everything else is out of our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even if the house were to be 50 feet, we could approve that. There is a no touch zone 25 feet, a no construction zone 50 feet from the wetlands, but no septic systems within 100 feet. That's our bylaw. And their house is well outside of the 100 foot. Okay, well outside. The septic system is a little bit in the buffer zone, the 100-foot zone. So this will be the 3rd time we say we're going to continue it, but we'll, to get a redesign on a moving of the septic system. And then he'd be good to go on this one. Lot 2 is going to be the the main issue. I don't have any more questions on.
No, that one's pretty, just that corner, looks like it's got-
You take it.
This appears to have the same problem as the others.
yeah.
We don't need it.
The what?
This one's a lot easier, just.
Yeah, that's only gonna be probably a 5-foot move, and he's got the space there. Even on the lot, even on lot 8, I think he had easy enough space. I think.
And you don't really have to worry about like wells and stuff like that, so you can move things around, just the water lines probably, you move in.
Yep, it's not an issue.
I know what I'm gonna do. That's the only. Do you have any questions? Well, if they let them have any questions first.
How many feet of fill are being brought in for each lot?
Depends where the septic system's going. Lot 1, we've had to,
Well, every house lot that's gone in there, they've brought in several feet to make your houses even with the road. As to the person who you're trying to prevent your subdivision buyers from being in a bathtub, I'm surrounded by a bathtub.
Lot 2 is across the street, across Maris Lane from your property.
Exactly, and the wetlands
So,
are flooding
How is
into my
that, how is
property.
that?
Because
affecting
every bit of any kind of anything that is ripped out of there, put in there, that takes up space, that is taking in water, a tree that sucks up a gallon of water. You know where that water is dissipating? It's being pushed out towards me on a consistent basis. Consistent. I have had times of 3 feet of water in my basement and my pump cannot keep up and I have to go rent a gas pressure pump because of the water that's being pushed to me from that subdivision.
Okay, I'm sure that all of us will be going to visit the site in the next couple of weeks. Ask him to look for possible alternatives on what maybe contouring or whatever, and we will have our own suggestions after we visit the site to see what we can do. But right now, we're gonna go back to lot 9, because that's the one that we were dealing with, and I move that we continue the hearing for lot 9 for a redesign of the septic system and its location.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, so we'll see you gentlemen in a month.
Yes, sir.
Charlie, were you going to say anything on Reed Brothers, or just your dialogue here sufficient?
We all three continue to next month. All of this,
I couldn't hear you. It's hard enough with,
Yeah, they're all continued the next month, Tom.
yes.
Yeah, these are all continued next month.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, have a good night.
What number was on your letter that you called for?
That's the problem, they put a house behind that. Our old house too, huh? They got a house back
Now,
there.
how many feet is that from your house? That's a distance though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a ways, it is a ways, but, yeah.
Yeah, when I'm looking up because I got about 3 or 4 phone calls.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to hire my
Oh, you get that shit.
What's that? Used to plant lettuce.
Really?
All the way from Center Street, all the way.
Now, with that turtle issue that we had, can I get somebody to work on those streets? Because in the beginning, you know, like, you can't.
Okay, we're going to get back to the meeting now. We have other business to deal with.
Take it again.
All right.
Charlie, you put down that Reed Brothers Farms,
Never had any response from Reed Brothers Partnership.
Did you expect them to?
They have an enforcement order issued.
yeah,
Part of the enforcement order said they had to file by September the 3rd. It's September 17th, and there's no problem.
okay. Has the building inspector and the Board of Health been notified of the enforcement order?
Board of Health has, yes.
Okay, so maybe the other one as well would be good to shoot them an email.
It wouldn't hurt to send a certified letter telling them about our fee schedules that we have for finding people that don't comply.
That would be fine.
That works.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we send a certified letter reminding them of their obligations and the penalties that might come from non-compliance.
Second.
All in favor? Discussion.
Discussion becomes.
Yeah, I know, Joe.
Brook Street, got a call from an intermediate developer. I guess he's going to be a clerk of the works for development of these 0 Brook Street.
0
cell
West
phone.
Street.
Brook Street,
Brook Street.
out of the corner.
Solar power.
He
Solar
had a
power.
question about the entrance to the facility. Toward the end of our hearings, it was determined that that was not a right of way, and the road reverted the middle of the road for each of us. So that hit a squash on their planned entrance. They revised the plan, their entrance now comes right off Pine Street. And the order of conditions insists that that's the first thing that has to be done before any other thing is done on that property. So they're planning on starting it. They said they would call and ask for a site visit when they got closer to
Okay, are there any wetlands there where they're planning to enter?
There's been a problem with that right from the gate. The original applicants decided that a little swale along the edge of
The road.
was a wetland, an intermittent stream, and it lived to plague them. It really didn't qualify as an intermittent stream, but that's what it is. And they put it on the plan, codified it, so they have to live with it. So right now, they have to bridge that intermittent stream that really isn't there, so they get in and out of their companies.
Okay, so they'll be filing with us, I would assume.
Well, we'll find out when they start building. But they are gonna ask for a site visit, and then we can work from there. But they're not ready to file yet. The last item on the agenda is a person removing his property from Chapter 61. It's on Horton Street.
Charlie, do you know where on Lawton Street?
All I can tell you is 0 Horton Street. It's right next to the development there. I can never think of the name of the first development just behind
It says
Smith
Dyke,
Street.
it says Dykewood Circle.
Yeah. But it's next to it, see what it says.
That's on the south side of Horton Street?
It's on the south side of Horton Street. They have a couple of lots. As family, they have one that, where they have access from Smith Street. They're trying to divide it up so that their kids can have a place to live. Whether they make it or not, I don't know. There are wetlands, and they are flagging the wetlands. The letter I prepared to the selectmen, I mean, we don't want it. They're looking for refusals, so I don't think this Conservation Commission at this point needs to get involved in it.
No.
The Board of Assessors has to get all that money back that was not paid for taxes. But that's simple as that.
Okay.
There's 11 acres? This is 11 acres,
Yeah.
Actually, there's more than that, because there's a second party that comes in behind the lot. There should be a little red, oh no, maybe I didn't attach it. No, it's not.
That's near Smith
They,
Street, right?
they had a hand-drawn plan.
That's over near Smith Street.
It's all on Wall
Yeah.
Street.
It's on one, but it's near Smith, right? With that- this one,
Smith
Smith Street would be something in the future.
Smith
It's
and
a
Watson.
back lot that attaches to the 0 Horton Street.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying it's down there.
It's owned by some part of the family with a different name.
I know where you're talking about.
They get out of the tax thing so that they could build homes for the kids. They may or may not be able to do it.
Okay. Charlie, you emailed our minutes to Mallory from the previous meeting?
Email who?
Mallory,
For what?
the minutes so that she could progress in,
No, I did not, but I can.
okay.
Yeah, the minutes that we read tonight.
Yes,
Yeah. I'll email a copy.
okay, so that she will, you know, I mean, I called her and told her that we had made a motion and passed it for an agent.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay. You weren't here at the previous meeting, or you saw it in the minutes?
Yes,
Okay. And she's looking actually for someone to be between stormwater and conservation, to work both. And by getting it done right now, it might even be done by December with special town meeting, and she needs funding, and this is something, you know, although I'm not getting old, I know all you guys are, and,
I'm not.
you know, and for us to be doing all this legwork in the forest and the sites,
It's too much.
yes. And for you younger ones that are working,
And the young guys are over there, too.
You have to work, so you can't do
One
it.
thing, before we move forward, are we gonna keep Strawberry Fields as a separate meeting night?
We weren't sure, we never asked for the green stubs in the check. And there was nobody there, Charlie, so it was an oversight on our part.
If they
Now,
don't
we
send
think,
any notifications to a
Well,
butters, then nobody's there.
that's what we figured afterwards, but I mean, just the way everything was,
okay,
it was an oversight on our part.
okay, here's what
It's gonna be crowded, it's not gonna be like
Charlie,
this.
it was the worst presentation I'd ever seen.
The presentation is what I'm concerned with getting that venue. The school department needs to be notified that we will use that on the second Thursday of the month
Okay.
for Strawberry Fields. We'll still be meeting on the third Thursday of the same month for regular business. That's what we need to decide.
Okay, right now,
We should, I think, we should include them with our regular meeting. No, I don't think there's any reason that we should have a separate meeting just for Strawberry Fields.
You might wanna change the venue. If they do notify, if they have to notify, because they're probably.
okay, but if they haven't notified, then we're gonna say immediately that we're gonna postpone the meeting because you didn't notify, you didn't follow through, and we're gonna send them home.
Yeah, you should
And
at least verify, ask them.
Why don't we wait? I mean, we got them scheduled to come into the next meeting, the regular meeting,
15th, October 15th.
15. If they didn't file certified mail, then we send them home, then we can get the venue with the school separately for them.
That's good.
That'll give us that time to find out.
Well, the 15th will be the second Thursday, isn't it?
Third.
Third,
Third?
Yeah, because,
Is that a meeting night?
the 1st, the 8th, the 15th.
You should probably ask them though, say, when you come in, bring those cards.
No,
Oh,
No,
no, they're not special.
Yeah.
If they're gonna be here,
they should have
11
been.
people.
Yeah, this is what you do. It should
Not
be
for the
what
class.
you do,
Yeah, but, I mean, like I said, if they don't have the, we'll have to put up with it if they
you know,
do.
given the circumstances.
If they did, but if they don't,
It
Charlie,
means to let the school committee know that we're gonna use that venue.
I realize that.
You know,
Yeah.
They set up the tables, they set up everything for us.
The second Wednesday.
They come in
It's
and
always been like that, and it always worked.
Move
We get
you.
to a limit market.
Yeah.
But if they didn't do it,
It's not doing it.
so if they did do it, nobody
I
came,
think that's a dangerous.
evidently, the people
what
on
happens
it.
is you have to say that and the place is loaded with people.
Okay, but on the other hand,
Go
if
on.
they didn't
Get to that point.
do the notification, then we just, they get delayed another month, that's their problem. We send them home and then we say, you didn't do it, and,
Go back and do it.
So the 15th agenda, these three will be back on the agenda.
yeah,
Plus, well, Strawberry Fields will be first because it's continued.
Right.
Do they have to be first, Charlie?
Pardon?
Do they have to be first on the agenda?
Well, they were first on the agenda last time. They don't have to be.
Good, because it's probably gonna be a lot of discussion.
One,
Once
two,
they
three,
notify the abutters, there's gonna be a lot of people here and a lot of discussion.
Well, I mean, if that's the way it is, then we'll get the venue with the school for them separately.
Well, then I'm gonna let the school know that we won't be using it on the 15th.
well, and we're just going by nobody coming to the last meeting. But if we find out that it's because of their neglect, that is not notifying people, then we just say, goodbye tonight for
So once
tonight.
they notify people, we have to hold the hearing. So it's only postpones it for a month.
Right,
Right.
well, that's the thing, John. I mean, we'll postpone it for a month,
Okay.
but within that month, we can get a hold of the school committee.
I just want to be clear that I'm going to notify the school committee that we're not using the gymnasium on the 15th. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
It's here.
They shouldn't be setting up stuff for us and there's no appearance.
Oh, I mean, it was, I'm looking around, I actually, both of us went outside
Yeah,
looking for
but we just
people.
wanna make sure, like even today, cause I saw that one guy, I wanna just give the opportunity, make sure nobody's just waiting out there. In the school, there was not a soul in there, except us.
Yeah,
And, they set everything up.
and Jack calls me the next day and said, hey, maybe it's because, no notification. And, I didn't ask for it.
Well, one
If
of
they
them said-
did, and no one showed up,
It wasn't you, Jim, none of us did, so,
yeah, I know.
that's all of a
So I
sudden.
sent it to Bill and Jim, and when it comes back around, we can sign it to, let's, signature page for National Grid.
Okay. Yeah, they always do exceptional work.
Normally, this would be exempt anyway. It's, the only fact is that they're doing 83 miles of, in Big Five. But all the stuff that they're asking to do, they could do any day of the week.
I know
whenever
that.
they want. They put swamp nets down, it makes it couples up a little wetland stuff a little bit, but they all live. Now, they're only asking for 64 square feet of wetlands, and they're gonna replace it. The rest is all temporary.
No, we don't have any problem with that, people. That's just a bill that they sent out in the month.
They're just cutting a little bit too, right? And they rode right back.
They do that kind of stuff all the time. This time they're redoing it. The main reason that they're redoing it is to get a transmission line. Cable TV set up on their poles. There's none now. They want to tie the new substation they're building on Chestnut Street to the power plant in Simpson. Well, actually, it's not in the power plant.
What company
It's on
on
the other side of
cable?
Adams, tucked away a little bit.
Yeah.
What cable company? What cable company?
No cable company.
Oh, I thought you said cable.
They're putting cable on their line.
Oh, okay, I knew to say cable.
But that's for their own use.
Okay, electrical cable, not
No, that
cable TV.
No, communications cable too,
Okay.
because they're at the farm already.
Well, that isn't too
And,
bad.
we thought that it was like Comcast or something else, like, we got 23 acres that farm on the city. And it's not a separate company coming in, it's, communications for themselves.
I got you.
Look at all the notifications, isn't it? Full of certified mail.
That's why your bill is so high. I move that we adjourn at 8:09.
09.
What's the adjournment time?
8:09.
8:09. Who made the motion?
Me.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.